What up, everybody? It's your boy Salem back with another video, guys. You know it. Anyways, guys, today is gonna be another TV show review. Today is gonna be a TV show review near and dear to my heart. It's a recent TV show. And when I mean recent, it kind of last. I think the last season ended, or the last it ended about a year or two ago, I believe. And that show is Salem. By the way, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, which I am definitely not, I hate Game of Thrones. I've read the books and I don't like Game of Thrones. I'm more of a J.J.R. Tolkien fan myself. And no offense, George R.R. Martin, if you ever watch my videos, you're a pirate. You literally stole his name. You stole basically every idea you could have come across. The only thing you did is add sex and boobs. Really, it's all you really did. Add sex and boobs and throw in a few things about giants and dragons and ice and shit and all these realms and these families, but that's all you really did. Otherwise, your crap is not all you have is a stinking pile of shit. Sorry if you like Game of Thrones. I just don't like it. It's a piece of shit to me. J.R.R. Tolkien is the god of fantasy and will always be the god, and then the guy who created Dungeons and Dragons is right after him. Okay, let's go back. Now let's continue with the story. Okay. So today's show was my version, my Game of Thrones that I watched religiously, like every single episode. I didn't watch it like at night because I couldn't. I had school usually in the mornings, the days of the show. Excuse me. So I had to watch it at the end of the next. I had to watch it the next morning. So usually I recorded it, and like I would watch it when I got home, or after school, or after the next morning if I had time for school. So the show was called, and the show is called Salem. If you don't know what Salem is about, it was on WGNA America, WGNA America, which is a TV channel, and at some states, I don't know what it was in other states, but in my TV state, I think it was Channel 7, but I'll make a quick check here. I think it was Channel 7 here, but I'm not really certain. By the way, I'm living in Florida now, so I don't know. Yep, it was Channel 7. Channel 7 is what it was called, WGNA America. So what Salem was about is basically, in its namesake, it's about the Salem witch trials. It takes place in 1693, or 1692, 1693, and 1694, and it had three seasons. And basically, it's about the Salem witch trials, but in the case of this movie, they're all real witches. The devil is fucking there. I mean, the whole town is fucked up. I'm pretty sure this show has the most dark and gloomy and most fucked up ending than any show I've ever seen. I mean, it was the fucking... Okay, literally, every character except a couple characters die in the literal end of the movie. Literally. One character gets trapped in hell while he's alive forever. While he's alive. I mean, like, literally, it's the saddest shit ever. Another dude is basically... literally savagely murdered in the middle of the town. One guy... The two main characters, Mary something and Mary Sybil, I believe her phone was Mary Sybil, and James Alden. I think James Alden. Yeah, it was James Alden. Or John Alden. John Alden. There it was. John Alden. Sorry, John Alden. End up living on and happily ever after in, I guess, Boston, and forever. But well, then there's some fucked up shit where the ending of the series basically is the devil is taking over Salem. And the leader of Salem, one of his witches. So, yeah. And it's gonna be his wife, too. It's pretty much the most fucked up show I've ever seen. It was horrifying to watch. It was very horrifying. It was a very good show. It was very scary. It had my blood pumping in certain scenes. There was sex in it. There wasn't really drugs. I don't believe. There was definitely wasn't rock and roll, but they had a great song, opening theme song, and it was "Cupid Carries a Gun" by. The song was actually the guy who plays John Alden is friends with one of my favorite rock and roll, heavy metal, rock and roll, whatever you want to call them, artists, Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson. Who, if you don't know, he sang, "Sweet Dreams Are Made of These," that song. He sang "Welcome to the New Shit." "Cupid Carries a Gun" is probably my favorite song of his. It's really great song, and it sets the mood for the entire show. The first line is "Down be the witch drones, better pray for help, not out of New York," I believe. I don't know. I don't know the exact statement. I think it's not out of New York, but I think that's what it says. But it's a great song. It was a great song. It very set the move, and then. Basically, I would call it Game of Thrones. It's 10 times better than Game of Thrones than I think it was. We got to learn more about Puritanism and their belief in world's view. We got to learn more about way people were. One of my favorite characters to this day was Isaac, who at the beginning of the series he is branded with an F for fornicator on his forehead. And if you don't know what that means, in Puritanism, if you're branded with an F or an A, well, you're not really branded with an A usually, but you are sometimes. You're literally shunned by the rest of the community. No one wants to talk to you, no one wants to be near you, no one wants to be around you, no one wants to do anything. So this is how bad it was for Isaac, though. After being branded as a fornicator for the rest of his life, which basically, to be branded as a fornicator, you need to have sex with someone when you're not married, I guess. I think it's what happens. To be branded as a fornicator, he basically now, every time he walked into the town, parents would be like, "There goes Isaac the fornicator," and hide their children. "There goes Isaac the fornicator. Let's throw rotten food at him." Literally, he did nothing to deserve this. All he did was have sex with a girl that he really loved, and that was it. That's all happened, and shit broke him down. Then it goes from season 1 to where he becomes a good, helpful to marry in the middle of season 1. To season 2, where he starts becoming under magistrate or a person that works for as a cop, and then in season 3, he goes full circle and leads a full-head rebellion against witches in that town. Oh my God, I loved Isaac so much. It had, like I said, this show had everything. It had horror, it had spells, it had devil, it had angel, it had a angel, I believe, or an angel version of him. It had, it had witches, it had sex. They literally featured a couple episodes, I'm pretty sure I counted 35 episodes in each, 35 episodes, including season 1, where it talks about a whorehouse and scenes in a whorehouse. Which back then we called a brothel. Well, it's still called a brothel today sometimes. Literally, even the pastor is fucking someone. One of the whores. I also liked him. I forgot who his name was again. The pastor, or the reverend, or whatever his name, or the deacon, or whatever the guy's name was. Reverend Mathers, that was it. Cotton Mather. Cotton Mathers. I love Cotton. Good man. Great character. Great person. Okay. The way they portrayed Cotton Mathers in this, rather than they portrayed him in the movie, in the real life. I liked Cotton Mather in the show, rather than I liked him in real life. In real life, he kind of sounds like a douche. Somewhat. Then somewhat not. But I do like Cotton Mather in the show. Cotton Mather in the show pretty much got the worst fate out of everybody in the town at the end. He literally is trapped in hell for the rest of eternity. And he's still alive! He ain't dead! He never died, technically. He's just in hell. Which is the worst part about it. And literally, this one girl who we saw as the little innocent girl from the beginning of the series goes all the way up to basically being the biggest bitch there ever was in history. I mean, think the biggest bitch, like, think of, what's it called?